Hey everyone, Sajil Qureshi here with another episode of RevOps 500 where we interview some of the ecosystem's bright and best people. Today is no different. I'm really jammed up and pumped to be talking to Klemen Hrovat. He is a co-founder of Celestial. He's a sprocketeer. He's had a career in sales for about 6 or 7 years. He's pretty much done a lot of it, not all of it, but he's probably done a lot of it in the business and marketing world. Klemen, welcome to RevOps 500, man.
Hey, Sajil, thank you for having me. And hey, everybody, super excited for today's discussion.
Yeah, same. So, Clement, let's just jump right in. What is your biggest mistake?
Really good question. Probably I can start counting with so many
Yeah,
of them.
use your hands, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Probably I don't have enough hands. I would need to use
Yeah.
hands of my kids and all of them to talk about all the mistakes. But I know maybe one which is kind of a recent and relates to what Celestial does, and in a way which one that hurts being an entrepreneur for now 12 years, starting my third startup. We've been building an app, a system for almost a year, where I had a lot of discussions with HubSpot users, admins, solution partners. We're always getting, hey, this is a good app, but it's not for us. I know there are other companies who can use that, but it's just not for us. And that kind of got us in a position to think and believe we're doing something right, but at the end we couldn't make a business out of it. And it took us kind of 11 months to get to the position to say, okay, this is not going anywhere. No matter how many small changes we do on our app and on how we communicate and who we talk to, will not make it through the break-even line. But I think there's a good but at the end. Even though it was a mistake, the main mistake I think was it took us 11 months. We should get to that realization in 5 months. But at the end, it led us to what we're now building at Celestial. So we reused a lot of what we built there, refocused to how we're building, echoed kind of what we've been learning in that year of kind of running that mistake. But as I started, what is painful is starting your third business in a career. You kind of seen a lot of that, and you went through a lot of everything, and you're still making those baby mistakes, kind of just being trapped by, hey, this is good but it's not for us, or everything we've been kind of hearing. It all drove us in the wrong direction, where maybe if someone would be brutally honest in month 5 and just said, hey guys, just stop for 3 days, go through everything you're hearing, we could maybe pivot the idea 6 months earlier.
Okay, so you just to back up, you were building an app. You built a HubSpot app for about 11 months, public app. It you wish you had known earlier that it wasn't going to work out, but you found out too late, and it kind of cost you time and money because time is money. That's mostly the and and what I mean. What do you think it was? Do you think you just believed for too long? Is that? I mean, you didn't stop believing soon
I
enough.
mean,
Is that what you were? Is that what you think? Or
retrospectively thinking, what kind of, at least myself, were pushing me in the belief that we're doing something that we can make it work, was all the positive feedback I had on calls with people, with admins, with solution partners, with users of HubSpot. But always the conclusion was, okay, yeah, we might be trying it out, but there was no then push for the usage after it. In a nutshell, it was an app meant for salespeople to help them streamline their follow-up process once they, you have a deal open, for example. You need to stay on top. At my previous company, which was a lead gen agency, I've seen too many times how salespeople were not following up, how they were just dropping the ball. I had a case, from a salesperson. We booked a call with one of the major pharma companies. They had a first call. After 6 months, I asked them how that deal is going, and the response was, "Oh, I forgot to send a deck after the first call, 6 months ago." It's I really felt that pain
Yeah.
too many times. So we thought, okay, we should be building something to streamline that. So we believed kind of we are building the app for the right audience in the right way. But at the end, one of the reasons why I believe it couldn't work is there's not a lot of volume. Once you have deals open and you don't have hundreds of people to follow up on a daily basis, which means you don't necessarily need the automation of that, and you can stay on top of all the five tasks for the day as a sales rep. But the end of that version of the app was when one of the users said, "Hey, but we struggle with kind of the same follow-up process after a webinar, and we have 1,500 attendees registrants for a webinar, and there's just no way we can manually properly individually follow up with each and everyone." And this is where the automation can come into play. So this kind of the whole journey of those 11 months kind of led us to what we're now building at Celestial.
Right, and that's kind of the good in it, right? Is that you had this idea for a product, didn't necessarily work out, but it's still kind of living on in some other way, though. I mean, that's kind of isn't how most product businesses are. Right? I mean, they start off as one thing for one group of people, then the group of people tells you it's good, but I don't want to use it. But now you find out what they do want to use from that piece. Maybe they tell you, oh, I like feature A and C, but I don't care about feature B. And now you keep feature A and C, and then you can build D, E, F, and G afterwards. And is that kind of what what Celestial is doing right now?
Yeah. It was feature C or feature E or whatever you call it. But the foundation was, I think, what we then transitioned into the new version of the app. And of course, this is that overnight success that took us 5 years at the end.
Always is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's iterative, of course, and especially now with all the AI capabilities of how you can develop software and how quickly all that is improving. I think this will be more and more the case, that you'll just be iterating around the pain points, and then some things can be solved and addressed only now with the recent models. So I think what we did right, it was talking with a lot of people. I built a lot of relationships with people. I met with a lot of great experts who can I still ask for some opinion, for feedback on what we're building. This stays no matter what we're building, as long as we're in that ecosystem. But yeah, that iterative approach, and no, I don't think. I mean, there probably are cases of startups where you just build the first thing and it works and it flies.
Yeah.
But I would say the majority is not the case. So it's we're not anything different. But I was going back to your initial question, what was the biggest mistake? I think it was it just took us too long to get to that point to okay, let's kind of reiterate the idea of what we're building.
Yeah, so there's two ways of looking at it, right, Clem? Like you look at it as a mistake that it took me 11 months to get to where I needed to make some changes in how this app is being built. Now, as a bystander, what I would say is, well, 11 months, now you're just pivoting what you were already doing, and you already have talked to, and you've talked to the, your user base, and you've talked to people, and you put yourself out there, and people know what you do and what you're about, what you're trying to do, what problem you're trying to solve. Maybe you just come up with a different solution for how to solve it, but it's the same. But maybe it took you. You're saying it could have happened sooner rather than later. But innovation happens when it does, right? You just never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Spend a whole lifetime waiting for a breakthrough moment, right? So
yeah. When it clicks, it clicks. Now it's easy to say, yeah, it took us too long. A year ago, it didn't seem that we're doing something wrong or making wrong assumptions. But when you look back, you can kind of evaluate. We should do some changes sooner than we did, but nothing is kind of lost yet.
And that kind of brings up an interesting point. Like you mentioned earlier that people said, I love the product. I think it's a really nice app, but it's not for us. Do you think maybe if somebody was a bit more honest versus nice, that it would have maybe helped you move that from, say, 11 months to maybe 7 months, 6 months to say, look,
Yeah,
this product is good, but it sucks because it doesn't do this, or that.
yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
Interesting.
In a way, this is the curse of HubSpot ecosystem and community. Everyone is so supportive. Everyone is willing to talk to you. You can get in touch with
Anybody
each
here?
and everyone.
Yeah.
Um, and solution partners. There are so many out there. They all compete in a way against each other, but they're still supportive to one another. And the same in a way happened to us. So it was supportive feedback. Yes, you're building something right. I believe it's good, and so forth. So it was never harsh feedback. Hey, this is not gonna fly, or at least I didn't hear that feedback, even if it was. Um, and yeah, maybe if someone would be really telling me the same point for 30 minutes after 5 months instead of 11 months, there would be that click. But yeah, the learning had to happen. Um,
Yeah. Nobody told you that it's a nice product, but I'm never going to buy it. They just said,
yeah,
nice product, but it's not for me. But they never said, no one ever said, I would never buy this thing. And that's
yeah.
maybe a
I
problem.
mean, I see now kind of the idea we had for those 11 months being somehow incorporated into the new version, but in a slightly different way. That can still, I still believe that idea, what we wanted to build is, a pain salespeople have. Maybe it just was not the implementation or the time of how we framed everything was in the right way. And what I would say now is good from what we've been talking to it's really learning about HubSpot users, how they see how they see HubSpot, and then of course HubSpot improved a lot in the past year. And then all the AI and MCP servers and AI RevOps and everything is different now than it was a year ago. Um, and then maybe another realization we kind of had for in the past 2 months was how harder it's getting to build a classic SaaS business. Now my assumption is it's much easier to build in a way, not especially the beginning, tech enabled service more than a pure product, because with AI there are tons of tools out there that use AI in one shape or form. If you go in and search for sales AI tech, you can see hundreds of tools, and the same goes for martech, and it's exploding. So it's not so much of building a tool, but it's how you stack it up, how you make it work. And for that you need experts who understand the processes, who can go into what you're building as a HubSpot user. And this is kind of then again a learning curve we're now going through by onboarding a lot of users, talking to users, again iteratively building the app on which we can help with what we want to help.
and and the problem that you're solving, is it the same sort of problem? It's the it's the follow up, helping salespeople follow up better. Is that the global problem that you're still trying to solve?
Yeah, I
Would you
would
say?
say even a bit more broadly, just increase the conversion of leads you're getting to your HubSpot portal.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
which is the follow up and writing personalized messages, taking into account what you have in HubSpot, and all that is yes the end goal. But another thing we learned talking to a lot of HubSpot users is data enrichment and data hygiene is still an
Huge
unsolved
issue. Yes.
huge issue,
Yeah.
unsolved problem. So we are building a lot of AI agents to help with data enrichment, data cleanup. Just today we have the first beta version internally for what we call a data firewall. With a few users of ours, we realize now when you get a lot of traffic through websites and then contacts are generated, hundreds of contacts are generated in your HubSpot portal daily. A lot of them are fake contacts
Yeah.
with disposable domains and so forth. And for now, there's no good way to do that. One is, you can be checking
Amazon.
the domains, but not only the domain. The domain can seem valid, but I saw a case in one of the portals. It was Charles Barkley at Microsoft.com.
Mm.
I'm sure there's no Charles Barkley, but if you look at it as a validation, yes,
Yeah.
it seems the
Yeah.
domain is right, the email seems plausible. But when you take a look at the company name property, it was X, Y, and Z, and the AAA was a job title,
Mm.
and then AI. If you throw all that information to AI, you can
Goodness
get
me.
the output. Hey, this is
Spam.
most probably spam, wrong email that you can then filter out. You don't do the enrichment, you don't take into account the list scoring and all that. So the better communication through HubSpot for all the reasons how you communicate via email is kind of the end goal of what we all need to do to really help get to that.
Makes sense. And so you're still solving a sales and data problem, even though that's what you set out to solve. A remixed version of it, but it's kind of like your mistake has kind of led you to your hopefully to your success in a way, right? Where you were going in one direction, then you say, okay, I had a setback, but now you're still kind of on the right path to some level.
Yeah. In a way, yeah, we are still following kind of the high level idea of one of the mottos was if a computer can do it, a computer should do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is still the case. One of the agents for data enrichment, for example, that we have is with AI searching for the LinkedIn profile of a contact automatically, and then validating with AI, because you can do that with all the nuances on every profile. With AI capabilities now, you can do that in such way, and the results are on par with what a human can do. So you can really trust the
Wow.
data. And it
Wow.
was not the case, a year ago. You couldn't
That's
do
right.
that because the models were not there. And 2 years ago, yeah, you can do that with some kind of heuristics and keyword searching and all that.
Yes.
But it's a different level of how you can solve those problems. So I would say our idea and how we are tackling the same challenges is evolving and improving, as long as models are giving us new capabilities, and we are kind of building the plane as we go, as we're solving challenges around data for our users.
Okay, so talk to me how that all went. So 11 months in, you get this. Is it just you who has this vision that what, we're not where we should be? There's like a light bulb that goes off? Is it people on the team? Is it, and then how do you get to the point where you realize, okay, this is not working, to the point where now you have to go talk about it with people and then make a change? And how hard is that change to make internally? What was all that situation like?
Yeah, really good question. We are now 3 founders. We've been now working together for years. With my CEO, we're now working together for 12 years. So we kind of know we know how everyone is kind of thinking, and we are in a way aligned of thought process and all that. So it was more of all together coming to the that kind of light bulb moment. Okay, we need to change something. We're not seeing the growth we wanted to have. We just had to somehow came to that realization. And I don't think it was one moment in time. It was building up. We were all, of course, discussing what's wrong, what we can change, how we can speed up the process, and all that. But at some point, we just sat down, the three of us, and had a discussion. Okay, let's take a look at what we're hearing, what we're seeing, what we now believe can be possible with small iterations, or we need to change something. And then one of the users was asking if we can help that with sequences in HubSpot. So we just jumped in there, and felt, okay, that might be something where the volume happens, and where the volume happens, you need to have the automation for that, because you just can't do manually writing thousands of emails for a follow-up post webinar, for example. So that's kind of we were trying to think of lessons learned and mistakes or wrong assumptions we had for the past 11 months, thinking, okay, with that new idea, is that something we can address all that and improve, and I would say it proved to be a in a way hard but not that hard decision, because anyway it wasn't going where we wanted to go.
Okay, and was it like you mentioned that the three of you have worked together for a long time, and you kind of know what the other ones might be thinking. You know what the feeling in the room is. Is it like I'm guessing it's not like this, right? It's not like you guys just have like a drink or two. You guys are sitting around talking, and all of a sudden, boom, you think this happens, right? Is it more like, was there like a trigger? Did some big potential deal fall through, or did something? Was there some negative email that came in? Was there some sort of was there like a blow up between the three? You're like, look, this guy was getting upset about something. We had to. What made you guys ask the question harder at this point? Like what was it?
I mean, in a way, the clock which is ticking, the runway that we have. Okay, we have, let's say, a year from now on, so we need to change something. We've been now building something for 11 months. We are always saying, okay, let's go for one more month. We'll improve that, and this is missing, and that feature is missing, and all that. As at some point it was okay. This
isn't working.
This isn't working. No matter how many small changes we do, and then I would say the most important trigger was that user who asked us for something else, which was kind of okay. Let's jump on that train. Maybe that is the pull in the other direction that can just help us cut through what we've been in a way building, and then we're not sure. And I would say we always struggle because we were in a way disappointed. No matter how much we believed in the idea, it wasn't taking off the ground as fast as we wanted to. But that opportunity to pivot, I think, was in a way crucial to sit down. Okay, do we want to go in that direction? And let's see what happens there. Or do we just keep building what we've been building?
So it was more like just slow development. Then as most times with quote unquote like a loss or a failure or something negative happens, you start to ask more questions, and then that's kind of how it went. And now, what makes you feel like you're on the right track now? I mean, are you getting more momentum from people when you talk about the things now? Are you seeing that, or what are you seeing that you weren't seeing in month 4 when you started the previous iteration of the app?
Yes, one is for sure, existing users are asking us for more support from different angles, which is kind of, making me believe, okay, we are, solving real problems. When you work with someone, you have the credibility, okay, we can solve things. And if they're asking us for different kind of tasks we can help them with, that means, okay, we are, solving today problems, not problems that can be in 6 months or never, and that they are painful enough that they are people are willing to pay for that.
Pay for it.
Of course, revenue is at a completely different level than it was last year with the previous version, as well as that kind of realization with AI. If you really want to make it work, you need to clean up your data. And companies are now, I think, finally realizing the real value of clean data. In the past, I always felt, okay, this is kind of a nice to have. Companies are talking about yes, you need to have clean data, but it didn't hurt you if you had a massive data in your HubSpot. Now with all the AI on top of the data, it's kind of garbage in, garbage out. So you need to clean up your data. Which means data enrichment and all that is more pressing than it was in the past, And because of all the challenges with demand generation, lead generation, whatever we call it, marketing, if you will, SEO is dead, cold outreach is dead, cold calling is dead, everything is dead in a way.
Yeah.
How you can generate leads. So you need to innovate. Standing out in the all the AI communications around us, being more human, relate in the right way to people, not just spray and pray with your messaging, where you're sending the same message to each and every one. This is, I think, the way to go.
Way to go.
And if current version or the second, third version of what we currently have will be what brings us to help more HubSpot users do that, we'll see. But only with what we currently have, users are seeing great results with the output of the emails we managed to generate with AI, and that kind of convinced me, okay, this is a better way forward than it was with the previous version.
Previous version. It's so interesting. And the people that you're talking to, like, is it the same people who knew about what you were trying to do before, and do you kind of tell the story about how the product has changed and how your focus has changed, or is it totally new people in the community?
A mix of both.
Mix of both.
I'm going back to those I talked in the past year, especially when I have in my notes that they have a volume, but because the system is somewhat different. Also, the people and companies we talk to are somewhat different.
Somewhat different. Okay.
With that system of individualized approach, companies that are not getting a lot of inbound leads are in a way not a good fit for us. If you're getting 5-10 new contacts a month, there's not much we can help with the system we have. And you also don't need to bother a lot with all the data cleanup and so forth. But if you have thousands of contacts being generated, and you need to build up on all that, and then convert more of those leads to to keep the revenue going up, then we can help. So in that regard, we really want to focus on a slightly bigger companies where the volume is present. But what is interesting in a way is it's still kind of the answer to who are the people we talk to is it depends on so many variables. Sometimes we're talking with RevOps experts in a company. Sometimes it's a head of marketing. Sometimes it's CRO. It can be VP of sales. It's really all different
all over the place.
Roles within the kind of revenue teams, which in a way I think for where we currently are, open to to how we can solve the real pains with AI and the tech we have is fine. But down the road, if nothing else, things will crystallize to the extent that we'll know exactly which part of feature A is for RevOps, feature B is for marketing. But as we're building a platform, we'll be supporting and addressing challenges for more than one persona.
More than one person, okay, which is good. It helps you navigate the risk a little bit. So, Klemen, what would you do? What would you do? I mean, if you could do it all over again, knowing what you know now, what would you change about those 11 months?
Good question and tough. I would be more open-minded and less convinced about what we're building is the right thing.
Interesting.
I would probably try to iterate and kind of push more for vouch that the idea is good with dollars, not with saying how good we are, because as long as someone we're all nice, it's always hard to say to someone, hey, it's a bad idea. But if someone is saying you, hey, it's really good, but then when you ask, do you want to use it and pay for it?
No.
There's no, okay, then it's not a good solution. Just tell me it's not a good solution.
Right.
So in a way, yeah, one of the
So
lessons learned
interesting.
was also, yeah, just when someone is willing to pay for it, then you believe in the solution. Until then, it's just a nice person who wants to be kind with you. Which it kind of, my mind goes back to 10 years ago when I read I think it's called the Mom Test book, an interesting book which kind of tells how you should be asking about feedback on your idea on product, where the theme is, your mom will always say you're the best, you're doing great, no matter what you do, your mom will love you.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, I would say she
Yeah,
will.
yeah, sure.
And even no matter how bad your business idea is, if you go to your mom, she'll be supportive.
Yes,
She's there for you.
of course.
So it's not asking your friends and asking for nice feedback. You'll always get nice feedback if you ask the right person. It's more what we were not, I think, doing. Asking for money. Put your money where your mouth is in a way, as prove that you believe in that idea, you believe in the product by paying for it, and that's how you can in a way confirm you're solving the real issue, the real pain someone is willing to pay for, and is and that you have a painkiller, not a vitamin, for what
Yeah,
you do.
yeah,
It's all those phrases that are flying around.
yeah.
It's cliche.
Yes.
I think again, looking back now, things are clear to me, but a year ago, it was not so clear.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It's like you would rather hear somebody say, "I hate you, Klemen, but here's money for your product," whereas what you seem to hear was, "I like you, Klemen, I won't use your product, and I won't pay you." And you would have rather had the former, not the latter, which is it's so fascinating, and it is very much how our community works, right? We're very we're not ones to say, "Oh, I think your idea is terrible." I mean, who wants to be the person to shoot the deer, right? nobody
Yeah,
nobody
yeah, yeah.
nobody wants to do that, right? So
And
who,
also, I would say in our human nature, it is, we're
yeah, supportive.
afraid to hear. I mean, supportive, and you're afraid to hear that your idea is bad. So you may I would say no. I was maybe not asking the right questions, because I was looking for support and
Validation.
confirmation, that were validation. Hey, yes, this is a good idea, but it's not for us. I only heard this is a good idea, not the other part of of the
Okay.
sentence, in a way. So it's, I mean, uh, I, I would say it's kind of, yeah, the nature of, yeah, we're all kind of afraid to be rejected. No matter how many times you try to repeat yourself, okay, be open minded and listen to people, but still, deep down,
But yeah,
you don't
we
want
have
to hear,
egos.
this is, yeah, we have egos, we have our mind, that we don't want to hurt, to be heard, and so, yeah, a lot of lessons learned, but for the good, I think.
And would you say, are you by nature a headstrong person, or like stubborn, or are you somebody who, when someone would say this is not something good, you say, no, no, it is good, you just don't know what you're saying, or do you feel like you're not a headstrong person generally? Do people tell that about you, that you're stubborn, or not stubborn?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm stubborn. I would say I'm more open minded, but I don't. I mean, I don't necessarily jump from one thing to another so quickly that
Okay.
I would immediately take the feedback when someone says something. I would just jump there. I would keep listening and collect my mind around, and then when I'm convinced about a topic, then it's much easier to have a really strong opinion on it. After one thought, one feedback, I don't think I'm the kind of person to just jump around. So I wouldn't say I'm kind of, yeah, stubborn, but probably a different mindset, which, yeah, I guess kind of cost us those,
Mm.
11 months.
Clement, where can people find out more about Celestial or about you?
LinkedIn is probably the best place. one thing I dedicated myself a year and a half ago. I'm on LinkedIn, posting, commenting, engaging, having LinkedIn lives, podcasts are there. So yeah, LinkedIn is definitely a place to find me. Feel free to connect. I'm always happy to chat with HubSpot users, the whole community. I'm also part of that supportive community. Going back to the community, I'll do. I mean. I'll do my best to be as honest and as supportive in the right way, if you will. But yeah, LinkedIn is probably the best place. And if you're at Inbound, you should see me there. People who were at Inbound last year, I was the silly guy with the alien.
He was the alien, everybody.
Yeah, I was the guy taken by the aliens, and yeah, my plans are to be somewhat similarly visible this year as well.
Klemen, it's I appreciate you sharing your journey about what Celestial's been about, what it's going to be about in the future, and your story. I know I've been following along, seeing kind of how you guys have been progressing. It's interesting to see where you're going, and I really appreciate you coming on and just breaking bread with me on it today.
Thank you for having me, Sajil. Pleasure as always.
Yep, and everybody who is listening, if you want to get in touch, Klemen's on LinkedIn. You can add him there. He'll be very supportive and honest, and maybe a little bit nice. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd give it a like or a comment, and we'll catch you on the next one. So this has been another episode of RevOps 500, and thanks everybody for listening.